Hey everybody, Greg Swanson, warriormindcoach.com. And I'm holding for the first time a group intensive. It's going to be held up here in Bend, Oregon, June 6th through the 8th. I have held many private one-on-one warrior quest intensives, but this is the first time it's going to be a group intensive. And the size of the group is going to be between 10 and no more than 20, so it's going to be very intimate. There's going to be a lot of things going on. What I'd like to do is talk a little bit about the intensive as well as start off with describing what a warrior is. So one definition I'd like to throw out there about a warrior is an impeccable hunter of personal power. Now this hunting takes the form of self-mastery physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I will say that most of our daily lives are not in alignment with acquiring personal power. They are dispersing personal power. The things that we do on a consistent basis, we are not accumulating it so we don't get much accomplished. We're taking our power and giving it away. We are becoming accessible to the external world, and we give away our power, give away our power, give away our physical power, our mental power, our emotional power, and our spiritual power. And then when we try to accomplish the goals that we want, we have no power left. So during the Develop the Mental Strength of a Warrior Intensive, you are going to become an impeccable hunter of personal power. You're going to know where to look for your personal power. You're going to know how to block the leaks of your personal power. So Joseph Campbell said that people say that we are all seeking is a meaning for life. I think that we're seeking is an experience of being alive. So that our life experience on the purely physical plane will have resonance within our own innermost being and reality. So that we actually feel the rapture of being alive. That's what it's all finally about. And that's what these clues help us to find within ourselves. And these clues are going to be clues that you're going to bring up from the inside when you're here at the intensive. You're going to find this rapture of being alive when you leave, as opposed to just being mundane, living in a mundane world. And we can equate this to the hero's journey. So there's several stages. I'm not going to go through all the stages, but just the important ones right now. So the ordinary world is where you begin to feel uneasy, uncomfortable, or unaware. This is your complacent zone. And if you've seen any of my other presentations on the complacent zone, you have this mental line of support and this mental line of resistance, which is defined by your beliefs, your emotions, your values, and your past experiences. And within the complacent zones, that's comprised of your capabilities, your behaviors, your environment. So your environment is your people, places, and things. Your behavior is your habits and rituals. Your capabilities are your skills and talents. So what most of us do is when we get down towards this mental line of support where we get frustrated with our lives, we get frustrated with lack of progress, we get annoyed, we get irritated, whatever it might be, we then set some goals and we start making progress and we start moving towards our goals, and then we hit this mental resistance and we start coming up with excuses. We start getting fearful. We start having procrastination, and then we start to backslide again, and we keep going up and down, up and down. The thing you need to keep in mind is this complacent zone, you are not creating anything new. To create a new reality, to create change, to create difference in your life, you must break through that mental resistance. And that involves your beliefs, your emotions, your values, as well as the story you're telling people. So that story is why you're stuck in the complacent zone. This is the ordinary world, right? So this is your story. Well, I can't do this because that, or I haven't gotten enough clients because of this. Oh, I can't get the right job because of that. These are all your stories, and the story just holds you. It holds you prisoner within your complacent zone. And so this is the ordinary world. And if you're watching this and listening to this, there's a part of you that knows this is true. There's a part of you that wants to break out of this ordinary world. There's a part of you that knows there's bigger and better things out there for you. And this is the first stage of the hero's journey. And then you get that call to the adventure. Something shakes up your situation, either from external pressures, perhaps paying bills, or from something rising from deep within. So you must face the beginnings of change. That's when you get towards that mental resistance. You want to change. There's something there. There's something better. And you get in this calling. I need to do something different with my life. And then comes the refusal of the call. So that's something different with your life is I'm going to go to develop the mental strength of a warrior intensive. I'm going to break out of my comfort zone. I'm going to break out of my complacent zone. I'm going to do this. And you sign up for the newsletter, and you start reading some of the information, maybe perhaps listening to some of the audios, giving me a call. And then there's the refusal of the call. You're about to make the decision to come, and then here you feel the fear of the unknown. Well, what's going to happen out there? And you try to turn away from the adventure, however briefly. And often at this point is where you begin to talk yourself out of going. Oh, it sounds good, but I don't think I need it right now. I don't need to go right now. I just been working too much. Oh, I don't have the money. I don't have this. I can't do that. All of those excuses, right? So this refusal to the call is when you're bucking up against your mental resistance, and all of the excuses come going. I can't break out of my resistance because of this. So you're refusing that call. But here it is. You're trapped in your complacent zone. You're not happy there. You know there's something better out there. You start to make the decision, and then there's the refusal. Oh my gosh, I can't do this. Well, when you can persevere and go through that, either by giving me a call, talking to me, finding out what it's about, or just knowing that this is the way you've done things before in the past. If there's a tendency to repeat our habits. So if you have refused calls before in the past and your life hasn't changed, guess what? If you refuse the call again, your life isn't going to change. You want your life to change. That's why you're listening to this. That's why you're contemplating coming out here. So yeah, acknowledge the refusal of the call and take action anyway. And so when you take action and sign up and come out here, the next stage of the hero's journey is meeting with mentors. And the great thing is that develop the mental strength of a warrior intensive. You'll meet other adventurers. You'll get in touch with some power animals, some spirit guides, myself, who will provide training and counsel and advice, which will help you on your journey. Because once you come here, you've started this journey. And then at some point, you're going to be crossing this threshold. And at Develop the Mental Strength of a Warrior Intensive, you'll make a commitment to leave your ordinary world, to leave your complacent zone. You're going to go, that complacent zone was good for a while. It has helped me out. And now I want a new reality. And you're going to enter a new reality with unfamiliar rules and processes. And of course, during this time, there's going to be some tests. You're going to meet some allies and some enemies. I will tell you that most, if not all of the enemies are going to be internal. So once you cross this threshold at the intensive, you will encounter new challenges and tests, make allies and enemies, and begin to learn the rules of the special world. So this special world is this new area where you haven't been before. So you're going to have some tests to face these enemies and to create some allies. And those allies can be internal, right? The strength that you already have that you don't know about. Those allies could be your fellow adventurers, could be myself. And I will say that majority of the enemies you're going to face are your own internal ones. And so then there's a part of the hero's journey called the approach. You and your newfound allies will prepare for the major challenge in this special world. And we can say that this special world is the intensive itself. And this will include the preparations for entering the innermost cave and confronting, quote, death or supreme danger. This innermost cave is yourself. This is where you do deep soul spelunking, where you go and face the parts of yourself you had have been denying, those shadow parts. And the confronting death is acknowledging those parts of yourself and putting them to rest by embracing them, by other processes. And we will get to that by perhaps having an intensive uh, danger activity. It will not be life-threatening. It may be perceived as life-threatening. And the purpose here is to pull out of you all of those parts that you have denied. And then there's the ordeal, and this is near the middle of your journey where you enter the central space in the special world and confront death and face your greatest fears. Because what's holding you back from crossing into that new reality that you want to create is facing your greatest fears. That's that beliefs, those values, those past experiences. And when you confront death, that's going to be death to that old you, the old you that lived in that complacent zone, that old you that served a purpose but no longer is serving that purpose, that old you that is holding you back from your greatness. You're going to face that during the intensive. Then once you come through the other side, at this stage you're going to get the reward, and you take possession of the treasure you have won by facing your death. This treasure is your internal gifts, your internal talents, your magnificence that you have inside of you will become illuminated. You are going to know what your strengths are. You are going to know how to take action. You are going to know, and you have busted through that mental resistance, and now you are in a new reality, a newfound place where you've wanted to be, and you've gotten there by using your own internal treasures. So Carlos Castaneda talks about a warrior in this way. He says, you must act like a warrior. One learns to act like a warrior by acting, not by talking, and I'm going to add by reading. A warrior only has his will and his patience, and with them he builds anything he wants. You have no more time for retreats or regrets. You only have time to live like a warrior and work for patience and will. And this is what you have to decide is, do you want to live life like a warrior? Do you want to start taking action? Do you want to create a new reality? Do you want to break through your mental resistance? Do you want to stop making excuses for why you don't have what you want? Then you need to take action today and go to warriormindtraining.com and join us. We'd love to have you out here. It's going to be a great intensive. So go ahead now to warriormindtraining.com, and we'll see you out here in Bend, Oregon, June 6th through the 8th.